Okay, there's three villains. They outnumber us. And they're gonna walk around. So I want to see you. I want to see you, the co-founder of Beyond Sandbox. I want to see you take down these guys.
I have a terrible hand. Well,
I'll cover you, bro. Hey, hi, hello, welcome back to the channel. I'm joined by, get ready, you ready for it? Jump scare, Nate, the creator of Beyond Sandbox. He's the co-founder. What's up, Nate?
Hey, everyone.
High five. See, we don't hate each other. We're just gonna rub our fingers together, as advertised. So I'm bringing Nate on because he's gonna talk about Beyond Sandbox. We're gonna talk about the elephant in the room. You know, we're gonna talk about a lot of stuff today. So the first thing, Nate, I'm gonna want you to do is I'm gonna have to blow your hand off or something. I gotta blow your hand off. We pick a hand, just one hand. So okay. Okay. Oh, I'm out of ammo, dude. Oh, yeah, Beyond Sandbox. All right, Mr. Nate of the Beyond Sandboxing. You have the most wish list VR game ever conceived by a human ever, right? Is that true?
Apparently, yeah.
Okay. But you also have some overwhelmingly negative Steam reviews and what's not. So we're going to talk about that. We got to talk about that.
Cool. So as of today, I think they're now mixed.
They're mixed? Whoa! That's good. You know, one of the main, there's some other things that they talk about, but one of like the main ones, obviously, you see people comparing Beyond Sandbox to Bone Lab, right? You've seen those ones? So for you guys as a team, were you just trying to make another Bone Lab just using the Unreal Engine? Like what is the biggest difference between just go play Bone Lab or go play Beyond Sandbox? Like what, as the developer, what was your goal?
Yeah. Don't see yourself as a competitor to Bone Lab. We see more also as a way to complete, like a category of product on the VR market. We feel that there was a missing type of game which were more oriented on multiplayer, focus on the multiplayer.
Okay.
So because right now, if you want to play a physics game, a physics-based sandbox in multiplayer, you don't have a lot of options. One of those is to get Bone Lab, and then to get Fusion, and it can be a little bit tricky and hard to access. So we wanted to make something that's easy for anyone to access in multiplayer. That's never been our goal to compete with Bone Lab. They're a solo player game. They're actually a very, very great game, but that's not what we're doing at all. No.
Okay, so it's more. So speaking of which, this way we can keep people's attention spans. We're talking to the TikTok audience here, my brother. So since you said multiplayer, right? Can you show me something in multiplayer? We're both here. Like, what should we do? We're in multiplayer. What do you want your players to do in multiplayer, other than finger stuff? what do you want them to do?
I think what something we're doing good and that feels good is just like, for example, melee combat. I mean, if I'm apologizing, but
do it. Punch me in the face, bro.
I just I punch you in the face, and the head just
I
go
see
back.
that. Now, for you, is your head moving like while I'm doing this, like in your spectator, or is it just the model?
No, for me, it's not moving at all, and that's something internally we're still debating because VR people want more immersion. At the same time, we also want to be accessible to a large amount of public, and we don't want to make people sick. So is maybe going to be a toggleable settings in the future? So we'll see.
Toggleable is might actually be the right thing there, because I see this a lot with VR, and you did say it, so I want to address it. A lot of times I see VR developers be like, we want to go for everyone, right? We want to make sure that everyone's comfortable. But currently, as VR, we've had this conversation. There's not everyone. It's just the people that like and play VR. So someone that's playing Beyond Sandbox and they want full immersion. Like they're not going to get motion sickness per se. So they want to be able to be like, if I move your head, they want to see and feel that stuff. So I feel like if you targeted the people that would really like that I think that's what you should target, rather than go for the blanket, like, let's get everyone, let's make sure everyone's comfortable, because the people already made their judgment so far on VR. Some of them think it's like a motion sickness or it's too whatever. So the people that think that, let them think that. But the people that don't think that, that's who we should reward. We should be like, you guys like this shit? Boom! Here.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And as I say, it's like more like an internal debate, and I'm more on the side of listen, the people that still play VR today that still didn't sell their headset, they love the immersion. They're not motion sick. Most of people that get motion sickness, they're not playing VR anyway.
So now, since we're still talking
Yeah.
about multiplayer, here, take this gun. Threw it right at your head. We're gonna take cover over here. We're gonna experience the soldiers together, bro. Okay, there's 3 villains. They outnumber us. And they're gonna walk around. So I want to see you. I want to see you, the co-founder of Beyond Sandbox. I want to see you take down these guys.
I have a terrible hand. Well,
I'll cover you, bro. Come on. That guy's walking. He's right there. He's right there. He's gonna shoot him. Yeah, woo! I saw that whole thing. Actually, that looked pretty good.
Oh, it was an easy target.
Okay.
Alright.
There's on your right, dude. On your right. He's sneaking up. He's sneaking up that way.
On the right?
Yeah. Ow. Oh no!
Oh, big shot.
Dude, this guy is just taking shots. Help.
It's okay. I'm here. Get me from behind.
Yeah, melee him, bro. Oh, and then I'll blind fire him. Okay, so we did that. We won. Ow,
We did it.
We definitely did it, bro. Some things like while playing, right? I think the cool part is just you and me playing together, and we get to experience some of this stuff. So this guy, I feel like we shot this man like a lot, and he lived. Did you find that happening?
Okay.
Do you find that happens, like where you shoot them a lot and they live?
Okay, like you felt like he'd take way too many bullets to take them down.
Yeah, here, let me respawn real quick. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like sometimes when I shoot these goobers, I don't know if it's a distance thing or something, but I feel like the shot feels good and they're okay. Like I feel like that's on him. You see, like I don't know. I felt like two things. I felt like I was getting a headshot. That was probably 12 shots, bro, between you and me.
That's definitely too much. We definitely need to reduce that.
Well, I want to do some things with you that we saw in the trailer. Like I want to take 2 guys, and I want to hit one with an axe and mush them together. Can you do that right now? Is that a thing?
Oh no, it's not gonna work. But it's in progress in our backlog right now, so it's gonna work in the next updates.
So I have to ask you this. All right, ready? Why'd you leave that in the trailer, Nathan? Why'd you leave that in the trailer if you can't do it? Huh?
I apologize. We're trying to get everything we show back as soon as possible. Some stuff. I mean, this thing, for example, we show it in 2024 in the melee video, and the game has changed a lot since then. We implemented the multiplayer, we implemented the mod kits, the physics changed. So obviously, some stuff needed to be redone, and we couldn't get everything by the time of the release. But also, it's an early access, so there's going to be.
So how did you have some of that stuff working? So in some of those trailers you got from the 2024 and stuff, I get it's old footage, but was there a build that it was working and then it broke when you changed things over? It's like the multiplayer and.
So people have to know is that 2024 I'm alone working on the game. I'm making a demo of it because first, for going full development on it, I want to make sure that it interests people.
Right.
Okay. Because it's 2 years of development, there's no funding at this time, there's no money, this is just me alone. So I need to try first if there is an interest, and I try, and there is a huge interest. So from there, we build a team, we attract some investment, things change a lot. They immensely change.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how we end up in the situation.
I see what you're saying. So you were creating something visually appealing to essentially like reel in a publisher so that you can make Beyond Sandbox?
Yeah, it wasn't just visually appealing. The goal was to already make it feel great. Okay, that's why we demonstrated the boards and all the physics. Everything was there and working. It's just that at some point we need to add to this the SDK. We need to add the multiplayer stuff. Need to be re-architectured. A few things breaks along the way because to work in multiplayer it needs to be done a little bit differently, and all of that takes time. So yeah, that's the reason.
I would say that is kind of where you got your lines crossed between a developer, publisher, and player. So as a player, right, like they're going to care about the game, but the secret thing is like they don't care about you or me, right, on a personal level.
Yeah.
So they see
Yeah.
the game and they see what's coming out, and then when they go to experience it, it felt different from some of the stuff they remembered, myself included. I'm like, hey, I remember seeing that stuff. Why isn't it here?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's kind of where like lines got crossed. And another thing I want to address is let's look around, Nathan. Look around. Look at this beautiful Unreal Engine, right? So the maps you're currently using in a lot of models, like most of these are probably from the Unreal store, right?
No, this one is actually a free one from Sketchfab,
Okay.
and most of our original weapons were from Sketchfab. The reason is our focus was the SDKs and giving content to modders. So we could have like buy really nice, maybe better assets, more expensive on Fab, and get them in the game. That's what most developers do with their first version of the game.
Yeah.
We decided to go to the open source way because then we could distribute them with our SDK. And if you download our SDK, you will find them all there with how we build them as example. So it's easier for modders to actually do the same than us. But we don't have the right to redistribute into a mod kit's fab assets, for example.
I see.
The license isn't allowed.
Well, you know what I wanted to say to that is a lot of people they'll see this, right, and they'll see that this exists in other games and whatnot, especially for something they
Yeah,
paid for.
yeah.
But what I will say is the point of those asset stores is exactly this: is to bring an asset and to have a license. And I think it's okay to not reinvent the wheel. Right? So you're just like, hey, I need an AK. I can either model it myself or I can buy a license or get it. I don't think the majority of players that have like a brain actually really fault you for doing that one. I think it's just one of those things that people like focused on because they just were overall upset. So they were just probably like, you know
Yeah.
what? That's an asset I've seen in the store before. Fuck this guy. Let's kill
Yeah,
him.
yeah,
You know, like
yeah.
I think that's what they focused on.
Yeah, I don't think many games have released VR indie VR game without store assets because it's just financially
Yeah, yeah. I
it
mean, it
wouldn't
makes
be
sense.
possible.
It's just I think the feedback for you guys. It's one thing to be like, okay, so this is this is the asset. The AK I don't think has any problems with it, but there are some things that you guys have that have like those LOD issues that like it like pops in and pops
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
So I think it was the implementation of those assets it didn't feel like 100% 100% like well executed. They're like you just kind of brought it into the engine and just let bygones be bygones. And I think it's because we're pretty much playing the Quest build but on PC together. Is that why we have those pop-ins and stuff?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. There's just some, when we have to build for many platforms, we need to create different setups. And yeah, on the PC version, we're not there yet.
Okay. Well, okay. Because I'm just looking on. You can't see my tablet, but on the tablet I have the what to expect in the upcoming updates, which is the PC VR graphics overhaul, dynamic lighting, shadows, high
Yeah,
fidelity, and
yeah.
3D models. So that's when can we expect that?
So we're currently working on the new maps, and the goal with this new map was to actually use it as to showcase how great can be unlocked once we have this overall uh, graphic update. And we're gonna try by the end of this month, but it might be more early June. It's gonna be a really cool map. Basically, I'm gonna give you an exclusivity is
Ooh.
we are organizing ourselves to work on thematic updates, maybe every 1 or 2 months, where we bring a dedicated map, a specific thematic, with specific AI NPCs that are gonna behave in this environment and specific objects in this environment. And we want to use this first one to showcase, yeah, just how great Beyond can look once it has this overall, with the dynamic shadow, lighting, post processes, better quality assets, and all of that. And it's going to be probably very close to what we showed in earliest trailers and video.
Okay, and you said that's like about a month out from something like that.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do. That obviously there's always delay in game development, but we're, 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 this is our target. And also in the same time, you've seen we've been touching many updates, I think 3 or 4 updates in 2 weeks, and we want to continue to have this rhythm while in parallel bringing this overall.
Okay.
This
So
graphical.
this next part is something I wanted to bring up. So this is a zombie with no AI that I spawned over here.
Yeah,
So what I found with the AI that has no AI, you can do a lot of things to them. Like, you can grab them, you can, snap arms and stuff. But once the AI was an active AI, like the zombie walk around stuff, I found it virtually impossible to do any of the stuff that, like, honestly makes
yeah,
Beyond Sandbox really cool. So this zombie, like, if I wanted to grab him and be like, let me break his jaw or something, snap his neck. Once he was active, I couldn't do that. Like, and I kind of want to see you do it because maybe I'm doing it wrong. I don't know. So I'm gonna put a real zombie over
yeah.
there.
All right. Where
So
did
he's
Oh, oh,
okay. So you grabbed him. All right. Oh yeah, he just fucked us up, bro.
sure.
I'm gonna just keep punching the. All right, I punched him, and now I'm gonna try to break his neck. I'm gonna try to. I'm really trying here, Nate. Nate. Ugh. Okay. Woo. He's down. I killed him. But you see the problems. So the AI that's just like docile and you want to do all the cool stuff. If they have no AI, I feel like you can pull it off. But once they're active, it feels like that cool stuff just isn't there.
Yeah. It's a hard balance to find that we're working on. It's let's say you want to play with aggressive zombies and you want them to be a challenge. If they were so easy to manipulate, well, there wouldn't be a challenge. So there's definitely some improvement. We're trying to find solution to that, and then it's definitely gonna take a bit of
Well,
time to have something that is balanced enough.
well, when I think of a zombie, I'm just gonna talk to him like he's you, right? So when I think of can you see him moving his mouth when I'm doing this?
Yeah,
Okay, but anyway, so when I think of a zombie, right? One zombie, I feel like I'm like, fuck you, zombie, bitch. But multiple zombies is not when you're gonna want to start grabbing shit. You would want to pull out a gun and stab. So I mean, I understand from the gameplay, like all the physics solvers going at once and being able to snap, but like, I feel like that's what you need because if I can, move around and get behind one zombie, break his arm, break his leg, snap a neck,
yeah,
that's okay because there's another 10 of them looking to like mess me up. So, from a sandbox game perspective, taking things away from the player, like, or I should say, the player not able to do something that they originally thought was cool and just shoot the zombie.
yeah,
That's where it feels like a little bit on the cheap side because I want to just be able to be like, hey, what's zombie, and like mess him up. But once he starts walking around, I feel like my best option is just get a gun and then try to waste him. I'm just like, oh shit. That probably looked crazy on your end. You talked about challenge with zombies, like you want to make sure it's challenging and stuff.
yeah.
I think, especially from a sandbox perspective, you would want to target fun first and challenging 2nd. Because this isn't like Galaga. It doesn't need to really be a challenge. But as long as there's like, okay, so Bone Lab is not a challenge at all. There's almost no NPC that can threaten you in that game. You can just whatever. But because of that, it gives the players and modders like more of a fantasy type of situation. So what
Yeah.
happens there is that avatar Ford in the game, you just do some weird ass stuff to Ford that's like 99% of that game. And the rest is like cool mods and shit. So with Beyond, if you had like, okay, so the soldier, you know how the soldier walks around and stuff? Like imagine walking up to him and just taking his gun from him, snapping his arm and he can't use it and stuff. I think that's what a lot of the players were expecting. I know you guys didn't really talk about that because there's player expectations and what you guys spoke about. So I think when we're like, oh man, a fully physics game with like, micro expressions, like putting like your fingers on the trigger and stuff and procedural gripping, I think, especially myself included, my brain went like, oh my God, like if he was holding this one, imagine I could take it from him. Because if you hold that gun, go ahead and pick that one up. I'm pretty sure that I can take that from you, right? So if you had that, like in theory, I should be able to like kind of take that from you. Or if I worked it out of your hands. So I think I was expecting that from the NPCs also. So some of the stuff that I think is like really cool that surprised me. I noticed in the last update, and I think it was probably in the game from the beginning, but it was. I know you guys were working on dismemberment, right? Like right now you can chop heads off and shoot heads off,
Yeah.
but what I noticed is like micro wounds that are happening, and I wanted to see if it's synchronized in multiplayer from your end. So if I would want to just like try to cut him, so do you see this cut right there, like on his shoulder blade? Do you see any of that stuff?
I cannot see it. I don't think so. What about, do you see this one?
No, I don't. See, and I think
Okay,
that's
I know there's mention problem.
so. This is some of the stuff that I let me move this before I create a problem. But this is some of the stuff that I think that would make Beyond Sandbox where it needs to go. Is if everything
Yeah.
was synchronized. Now, that sounds way easier than done, obviously, right? But that's all players
Mhm.
care about. They just want it. They want what they want, man. So imagine we had the zombie, and I was like, bro, let's play tic tac toe, and I just like gave him like a wound right here, and you could see it. Yeah, another wound. Come on, there we go. But if I was just giving him wounds, and you could see them also, we could do like a deranged game of stuff. So
Yeah,
that's I
yeah.
think
Yeah, it should be happening.
well, I think this is a good time to talk about something that you and I wanted to talk about previously, which was the level of difficulty to make a game like this, but also some of the behind the scenes as far as the money, how much it
Yeah.
costs for certain things. I know you wanted to speak about that, so this is it. But now's your time. I'm gonna pull a gun on you. Now's your time. Speak.
Yeah. Yeah, so like I start alone, resources. People know this. Some people know that I make a previous game called Last Asking Games, which was a battle royale, which had nothing to do with the studio we have now. None of the people have worked on this game. It was just me alone.
Is that game
And
still
on this
playable?
game,
Can you still play that old game right
no, no,
now?
no. No, yeah, I shut it down after a whole season. It was a free-to-play game, by the way,
Oh,
because
okay.
we have people
Yeah, yeah.
saying that it was a rock ball, but it was there's no it was free. But after a season, there was just not enough player to sustain a large-scale battle royale because it was like a 50-player battle royale.
Okay.
And at this point, that's also when I understand that it was a bad idea to make custom assets as a developer because everything was custom in Atlassian Games. I use all my savings to make custom weapons, custom environment, custom character, and I just end up with I invested around 100K, and by the end of this project, I had 2K on my bank account. I
Oh
had
boy.
to mostly shut it down because the server were still costing me, but not enough player will playing it. So the only person that's been ruffled is it's probably me in this experience. And this was a big lesson about how to make a video game more carefully, taking a little bit less risk. I'm a risk taker. I wouldn't be a VR developer if I wasn't.
For sure.
But first coming with a demo, test public interest, test what public would like to see, and then also use. There's ton of great quality assets, so it would be a waste to spend money on remaking something that already exists, and that's probably that's good. So there was a different like a different mindset when I create Beyond. And at that time, I'm 33 years old that
Mhm.
had to go back to his parents to make it possible because there's no resource, there's nothing. I have nothing, barely nothing on my bank account. So my only way to continue and try to achieve my dream is just to try to do things very, very efficiently. And so I make this demo, and it goes viral. And
Yeah.
so I'm like, okay, we are onto something. I know great people because during my couple years developing in VR, I met a lot of great people. One of them is Gaijin. He's gonna handle on marketing
That's the social
later.
media guy, right? That's the guy making all those videos.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. And the other one is the person that's going to become my co-founder, which is Adam. And basically, Adam made something called the VR Weapon Kit, which is an Unreal asset that developers can use to accelerate their development. And that's what I was using part of it to make Beyond. and he sold it to me as an asset maker.
Okay.
But then I convinced him to join, and so we could mature his system and make it turn it into a real game that people can play. And he's going to be the first one to join me. But again, for I think something like 6, 7 months. Sorry, I did.
Oh no,
I
you
did
just said
say-
6, 7.
Yeah, so we are me, Gaijin, and Adam start like turning it into a real project, and the marketing go continue to go viral. It's just like Gaijin is just doing such an incredible job. Until to this point, we have no resources, no funding, nothing. So it's very hard. Adam needs to work after his hours. I have the chance to be with my parents, so I don't have my
Sure.
life cost too much. I can focus full time. And then around January, Martina, our third co-founder, joined us. And Martina is someone I wanted on the project for several weeks already because, so if you know about Unreal, it's really hard to develop a proper SDK on Unreal
Yes.
Engine.
Yep.
On the fact they completely get rid of the support of it. So we needed to build something entirely custom. And Arkina was working on something like this, not for VR, but for every Unreal game in general. So I was like, please join us. We need someone like you so we can create a great SDK in Unreal. And I think it was around April or May, where we were able to get some funding. And even the funding we received was very tiny, like not enough.
This is funding from your publisher, right? From 2080.
Yeah. And they did a great job, but they're also a small publisher, and they are one of the last people that are actually investing in VR. Like right now, the state of VR is bloodbath.
Oh
Studios
yeah,
are
yeah.
closing.
Meta's out. There's so many people are just out as far as like investments, and I think it's because of player count. They just don't see the ROI in doing it.
It's too risky. It's too risky. Venture capitalists don't want to invest. Publisher barely want to invest if they haven't closed yet. Studio are closing. Meta is not really funding anyone yet. And on social media, we had already around 100 million views.
Yeah.
And even with 100 million views, no one wants on this. So imagine anyone else that
Sure,
is
yeah.
very, very complicated. So we got a little bit of funding. To be honest, the funding we received wouldn't even pay a senior developer in the United States.
Right. Yep.
It's 4 year. And we had to do a whole game with that. And the only way to do a game with that was one, me and my co-founder, we make sure to pay ourselves minimum wage just enough to cover our costs so we could spend all the rest on other devs and pay them correctly. So a lot of sacrifice. And from there, also after we had the delays and we were lacking resources, so the few months we pay ourselves, me and my co-founder, we actually re-injected that money. So far, because we haven't received any sales money yet, because it always takes a little bit of time to get the first paycheck from Meta and Steam. I'm still technically poor.
Especially after all those refunds, you know what I'm saying, bro?
I haven't even seen the money of the publisher for us. Like it's funny. There are people calling us scammers. I mean, that would be the worst scam ever pulled out because they just have no money. So now we did really well. I know people saying like, yeah, the books refunded, blah blah blah. It's not true. We make a good amount of money. The game is selling well. So we're gonna have soon a good amount of resources so we can actually accelerate the development.
Well, I think what I can say to that one is when you're up top, everyone always wants to knock you down, no matter what you're doing, right? So having like the most wish list stuff, you're gonna have people that are envious, or you're just gonna have people just doing what they're doing. Clout chasing, whatever they're going to do, right? I think the mystery of Beyond Sandbox is what they wanted to unravel. They're like, why is this game being so wish list? Is it actually going to be so good and so hyped? And you said Gaijin is the social media person? Gaijin did such a good job at showcasing the game from like a small snapshot. That intrigued enough people, but then you also intrigued the content creators to be like, some of this shit isn't possible yet, right? And I think between you and me is like, there's some of that you guys knew it wasn't possible yet, but like you said, you were creating a demo, you were trying to create an experience and showcase what is possible. I think
Yeah.
what got lost in translation was the early access of it all. That like, yeah, we made this one part, but not yet. You flipped over to going to multiplayer, and there
Yeah,
just
yeah.
wasn't a clear voice coming from beyond Sandbox saying this is what we are and this is what we will be at launch. So what ended up happening, myself, other content creators were like, I don't know what the fuck this is. Let's just start lambasting it, or let's just start talking about it. Some people took things out like way crazy, right? And they just they ran with it. Where's Wigwam? Wigwam. I'm looking at where's Wigwam? He's probably hiding back over there somewhere. Anyway, I think what ended up happening is, from an NDA standpoint, like you can't talk about certain things, but the content creators, like we were just going to figure it out, quote unquote, figure it out, and just make content. And then of course you have some other people like if you're saying trying to, what do you mean by trying to sabotage you? Like what do you mean by that? Who's sabotaging you?
There's been real talent sabotage. So, for example, people like trying to spread the leaks everywhere they could.
Oh,
Say
okay.
this, like for example, a very leak from a year ago, which was it was not even the game. That was more like a version we wanted early. For modders, they already can start building content. So it was just an empty map, nothing. It was a full white
Just a
scene, and so
white Unreal Square.
yeah, people just taking this, publishing everywhere they could. Uh, People trying to just sell the APK. People just like getting a build and just focus on the bug, trying to find them all the bugs, and then just compiling this as like, okay, this is the game. This is just what there is, and other stuff. There was a Telegram post made by some people from the Pablo community. Basically, that was a kilometer long. Like, sorry, it's a mile long
Yeah,
of
sure.
me being stalked. Like they were screenshotting what I was liking on social media, saying they were trying to go to some source code, saying,
Oh
"Oh,
boy.
this is AI," like crazy stuff. Like you wouldn't even imagine.
Yeah. I mean that's tough. I honestly I couldn't imagine the spot that you were put in on that one. I just think, well, okay, I don't want to speak for you, but is there anything prior to launch? Okay, so the game is about to come out. You have one day to launch. Is there anything you would have done differently prior to that?
So I spent a lot of time trying to take down leaks and that stuff because I didn't want people to believe this is what they're gonna get, like that empty map and stuff. Maybe by thinking back, maybe I should have spent less time on this and just spend more time on development. I mean, you see the state of the game when we release, and 2 weeks later, so only 2 weeks could already make a good difference. Maybe
Well, those 2 weeks. Why, Nate? Why didn't you just wait 2 weeks? For this build is infinitely more stable than the other one, as far as like what we can see and whatnot. But like some people were saying, like he was rushed by the publisher, he was rushed by the
no,
players. So like, what happened? You had 2 weeks. And
no,
it
no,
was
no. It's we tried to delay as long as we could, but at some time we have a team depending on us.
sure.
They have family. They need to put meat on the table. It's just there was no more resources. Like we went to zero on the
Okay.
bank account, and we're like okay, let's try to make it as good as
Let's get
possible.
some money coming
Uh,
in so that we can continue to go forward.
yeah, and that's the purpose of an early access. Is like you put a first version, and that's exactly if you look at the exact definition of early access is things are being complete. The devs get funding, and they can completely continue on their vision
For
and
sure.
make sure everything is delivered for the final product.
Yeah, I mean,
So
I
yeah,
agree. I early access. That's the point of early access. It used to be Steam Greenlight to get your money
yeah,
so you can go forward because people see your vision. I think, from your like we talked about with marketing and everything. Because your previous game, the Battle Royale one, I took a quick peek on SideQuest,
yeah,
and you had similar wording. Like as far as you're like, it's the next gen, and then when it came to Beyond Sandbox, like it's the next gen Sandbox. So I think that puts you up on such a pedestal that if it didn't deliver that next gen thing,
yeah.
that's what people are able to focus on. And I understand early access, that's the dream. That's where you want to go. You're using marketing speak to kind of get there. You had Gaijin do all the things. But I think, people's first impressions of something, even it being early access, they want to have a version of what you were talking about. So with some of that stuff, you're just like, oh, procedural gripping and stuff like that is cool. Finger physics, that stuff is cool, for sure. But I think when they were like, oh, I want to try that procedural gripping, and they're like, what is happening? I think that's where the content creator is like, excuse me, sir. So I think that's not to warrant what they said, but I think, like you said, you needed to get the game out there so they can get some funds coming in. That's 1,000% fair. That's fair. That's fair to do that.
Yeah, and I take responsibility on that because I'm the first one. Like even before Gaijin made in 2024, I made those first video where showing all the cool stuff.
With the hands.
In other game, and on the moment I'm like, I want to build an event of VR. So that's what I was saying, Sure. So over the time, we kind of we toned down on this because obviously we feel like the audience. The more we try to get everything working on Quest 2, it doesn't feel the same than what we showed initially.
Yeah.
But when I start, I truly believe I can do it, and that's what I'm selling. That's what I want to do. I don't want to aim for nothing less, because I really love VR and I want to try to push further. I want to be. I'm like, okay, studios have made hundreds of millions of dollars. But why they're not pushing a little more? And so let's try to do it.
Some of those studios, right, is okay. So beyond Sandbox, when it reaches its potential, its fullest potential, it does have the potential to be like this amazing thing, social multiplayer. You do crazy stuff in it. It has that one. So yes, you could have made like another like Gorilla Tag clone or like Among Us or something.
Yeah.
Of course, that's where the money is right now. That is where the money is. It's easy to make some of that stuff, but eventually that well is going to dry up. That attention span is going to go. I Am Cat, all those nonsense stuff. That's not risking VR. I would say those type of games. I'm just going to say those type of games are more damaging to VR than taking a risk, because people see those ones like, oh, that's for children. I don't care about that. But if they see something like Beyond, where like, I'm grabbing, if I was able to grab your arm right now and break it, and you're just like, oh shit, my arm's broken. That's what people really want to see. That's what the more mature, 14 plus, 16 plus year olds want to see in VR. They don't want to monkey around.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that was the plan, and obviously, if you want to make money, one of the ways to de-risk and make money in VR is indeed to go for the Gorilla type of movement. It's easier to do. It's gonna run better because it's like the graphics and
it looks like shit,
And but those are a great game. I think they're great because they bring the kids, but the kids tomorrow are going to be the teenager. They're going to be the teenager of tomorrow. That's going to bring more resources to VR. So I think this is a win. No criticism of them. But yeah, we also need some risk. I feel like I could handle the pressure, so I'm gonna give it a try. And I know I meet great people, so I feel if I can convince those great people to join the project, I think we can really do something.
Okay. What I did want to ask you about, so going back to like content, I'm glad you gave me the lore, the deep lore. We talked about some hard stuff, man. That's good. So proning, cool, laying down and stuff, that's cool, right? However, what I want to ask you about is climbing. Okay, climbing.
Yeah.
How did climbing not make the early access? That is the coolest shit of VR is climbing. Yeah. So what happened?
Yeah, at any moment of the development, we work on climbing, and now thinking about it, I'm not sure why. We do have we do have a prototype of climbing functional. And we just have a bunch of priorities, but we do have something. We have one of our team, Narknon. If you're active on the Discord, you already probably spoke with him. It's great that and he was like, okay, we need climbing, so I'm going to do something. And he started working on it. And so we're just
because especially here, this red thing over this guy right here. So even from without climbing, the current issue is like I don't know the term for it, but if you try to jump on something, there's like the game doesn't want you to do it. Like there's like a feeling of like, no, this is an exception. Actually, there's plenty of other things where you try to jump on it and it's like, no, dude, you get like stuck on like collision. but like you can like spam the
Yeah, yeah,
jump button and get over it. So I think once you guys also have like proper climbing and some like basic parkour, like look above you, like you see that shit above you. Imagine if I climbed that thing, jumped, and I was like, "Take this, Nate," and I was like shooting down at you and stuff. Like you would just have like content that makes itself. So I think
yeah, yeah,
climbing should be a huge priority, huge,
yeah.
massive. Your bottle. Do you know what I'm going to talk to you about with this bottle?
Maybe that you keep us shooting.
Yes. Why can't I shoot this bottle?
Apologize. It's we're making them better and better. It's just it's the first version, the
Okay.
prototype.
Okay. That's fine. But I think when I played it the other, I made a video right before you guys updated it with mods and stuff, and then the next day you updated it, and it felt so much better. So I really do think there is promise here. And just to clear some of the air up, I know Wigwam had brought it up in his video about you guys abandoning your first game. Like you said, you tried it. It was a free game. You shut it
Yeah,
down because there wasn't enough players. It is what it is. That's fine. I think people were just afraid that you were just going to be like
yeah, yeah.
with Beyond. Like they thought you were just going to come out, update it once maybe, and be like, "All right, I gotta go take the dog out." So I think that's the concern, is that it has potential, but you might leave it. I think that's the concern.
Yeah, yeah, no, no, there's no plan to leave it. And as you say in a post, we did around 10 times the initial investment on the first week of the release, and this is great because this has already given us more than a years of resources to support the game with the current team and even to hire more.
Okay.
And this continued so good. So we have no intention to stop updating Beyond. And I think also a misconception about maybe it's just the way the game industry work is you have developer, they make a game. They make a lot of money from the sale of this game initially, and then they just go lower and lower and lower. And then they make a new games.
Yeah.
And for me, this is because of this way of this type of business model, we're not going deep enough into what is possible in VR. So for us, the goal is to be able to instaurate a way to get recurring revenue for years to come. So we don't have to work on a new game and we can really explore what's next. Because imagine by the end of the year, let's say that we completely have our vision implemented and everything we show is there and it's stable. Now imagine what we can do on the next year.
Yeah.
We can go even further. So that's how we're building the game. And it's just normal for a lot of people to just not understanding it. So they see it now, and they probably imagine that the game we're probably going to be start working on another game in 2 or 3 years, like more studios. So they're like, "Oh, they're not gonna be able to do much in 2 or 3 years, maybe." That's it. They want the vision now, but yeah, we're not going anywhere now. We are comfortable financially. We can spend a lot of time making Beyond the best it can be.
Cool. Okay. Well, I think in closing, was there anything else you wanted to bring up? Anything else you want to say?
Yeah, something that is important to me. So I lost my grandfather June 2 last year,
Hmm.
and he was our number one fan. He was asking every single day how the development was going. And so, yeah, I want to make this very first interview. I want to give him a big up, and I hope he's seeing it and he's proud. I was away when he died, unfortunately.
I'm sorry,
So
man.
I haven't seen him for a month when it happened.
Yep.
And it's kind of a regret because I had to work so hard on in the game. I lost a grandfather and a dog during development. Probably, yeah, I would say the worst part of
Sure.
the old Sandbox.
Well,
But
come here, bud.
yeah,
I'm
so
gonna give you a virtual hug. I'm gonna get around you. There we go. See, look, we can.
did
We
you
can
get,
yeah. There you go, man. Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for your loss, dude. That is tough. That is
by the
very
way,
tough.
I want to also I see this morning that did you lose your daughters or something?
Yep. Yep.
That what was that your dog?
Yep. That was yeah. We had to put him down yesterday.
Oh, sorry about it.
Thanks, dude. Appreciate it. Well, let's do one final thing, man. Let's have one final round of fun. What do you want to do?
Yeah.
You want to spawn a homeless man? You want to put dynamite in someone's mouth? What would you like to do? Here's how you're going to get the grace of all the players back. Take this gun.
Okay.
That one, I threw it on the floor somewhere. I'll get him for you. Hello, sir. Okay, go ahead. What you just need to do is just blow him away, and then everyone will forgive you real quick. It's okay. Oh, almost. Almost, buddy. And...
What? Not really.
This is some good beyond sandboxing we're doing.